That sums up what you've done so far. Isn't that right? Ace Markey, the ultimate jockey.
So damn it.
God damn it, we're not gonna get to see the execution.
I'm checking the comments now.
For the year-long break we have to suffer in the middle of this was not worth it, if you ask me. It was not worth it, if you ask me. I don't understand why it happens in some fan games. You don't really see this happen in the mainline games. It happens in some of the fan games. I'm not gonna say every single time it happens, but what's up with fan games? They put up this cool,
Okay.
this cool way,
I'll answer
cool. All right, all right.
Cool way to what?
Like cool option of the way the trial can go, right? And then they just choose the lamer route. If I don't like how these last two episodes played out. Why well okay, if we weren't gonna go over why Enid was innocent, why even do the cliffhanger hanging that it could be either one of them? I
I
think
mean, I agree with you there.
it would have been better if you just waited a little while longer and used that evidence of her being choked as only Ace can do it, which first of all I disagree with. Sure, he's strong, but it's alright. It's not like he was choking out Levi or even someone like David. I feel like if the writer wanted to, he could have had Enid choke her out, but that's besides the point, right? Why even do that whole thing? It could be either one of these two. If in the very next episode, you're just gonna be like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna believe Enid for no reason. All right, Ace, I'm I'm hopping on your nuts. I think you did it. And especially since the author wants Terrico. It's pretty obvious now that the whole flip flopping between I really want to trust people versus I hate everybody. It's pretty obvious now. It's intentional, right? Like after like during the part of chapter 2 before Deadly Life, it was annoying. It was annoying inconvenience. Now I know it's intentional. With that being said, now that I know it's intentional, I don't think he should have done that at all. It's a not it's an annoying character trait that she has. It's not charming. It's not captivating or anything. It just makes her seem like a giant hypocrite, right?
I mean,
It's like
really,
what?
it's the arc she has to go through. Like she has to hit. I'm a person that believes that a person, like, I'm gonna use blue lock terms with you, that a person cannot reach the peak of their ego without going through an ego death beforehand.
But
Effectively, Terrico's arc has to have her go through pain like of that sort for her to pick herself back up again.
it to me, it's like wasn't she from the jump not trusting anybody? Like, sure, she'll kind of hang around them. Maybe it's not as much distrust as it was at the beginning of chapter 2, but even at like when she first introduced, was she still not trusting anybody? And I'm not even like first of all, I think that not only do I think it's an annoying character trait to have, to me, it feels like the author can't even go. It feels like he's not even going through with that arc per se. It's like he's like dipping it in, like she wants to start trusting people, but kind of not really, right? What irks me the most is, are you seriously telling me that we could not have a rundown of why Enid was innocent while at the same time kind of harping on Ace rather than her just, all right, Enid, I'm gonna trust in you. I'm gonna believe you're innocent for no reason.
Yeah,
For
no,
no
no,
reason at that
I
point. For
100%
no
agree with
reason.
that.
And it feels like the same way how I felt about the gushing over magical ending of season 1. It just kind of it's unexplained. Like they explain it afterwards, but they should have done it either during or before. To me, not because if you ask me, Ace was even if he did it, Ace was completely in the right about how he felt.
Yeah.
If I was in his spot, I would be pissed too. If it's two people on equal footing, and as it was at the same time, it wasn't. Oh, it could be Enid or it could be Eden or Ace. I think it's Ace, but let's not rule out Enid yet. If they were on equal footing, and if someone just cries, "Hey, it's not me. You have to trust me," and someone's like, "All right, I'll trust you." This I'm going after you. I think you did. I would be pissed too. And to me, it's like, why even do that? It seems like such. It seems so stupid to even do that. To
Yeah.
me, that's just bad writing to me. To me,
Yeah,
that
no,
feels like just bad writing. To have her be like, all right, I'm going to trust you for no reason. I'm going after Ace. Again, even if he was the right person in the ends don't justify the means. Even if he was the right killer at the end, that's still a stupid decision that should not have been written. The fact that we had to wait over a year for this kind of ending does not sit right with me. I did not like how this was. And this is not even going on about how Enid would have been a way cooler killer
yeah.
instead of Ace. I'm not even going to harp on that. The perfect opportunity. If you really want Carrico to dive down on this arc of not trusting anybody, imagine if she was like, all right, Enid, I'm going to trust you just this once. And it turns out Ace was innocent and Enid was lying. Boom. That would have been perfect. Perfect setup for chapter 3. But
Mhm.
no, we got to take the easy way out. We got to do Ace. I don't know. Maybe if this came out consecutively, and the creator didn't take a year off. I know they had their own thing. But that doesn't. I can't. It still doesn't excuse how I feel about this. Maybe if it came out consecutively, I would actually like it. But as of right now, they're having to wait for a whole year of this. I'm pretty sure if Shattered Hope comes out tomorrow and the trial was trash, you would feel the exact same way. We waited multiple years for this.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
no,
you would feel the
I
exact same
100%,
way.
I 100% I would be like that.
Ah,
Like,
that's
like,
all. That's
okay,
all.
okay, to
That's my
give,
bit. That's my bit. I just didn't like it.
I mean, to the credits, like, there is like this. I don't know what term to put this, but like basically, some people like to think that like oh it's taking so long. That means that they're cooking and it just causes hype. But then it just leads to over hype when it just ends up being extremely mid. It just ends up like being lukewarm, if that makes sense. And just people end up
Yeah,
getting more pissed because of how long it takes.
I don't know. I know I know you're speaking in general terms, but I feel like I was like the perfect amount of hype for this. I'm not even gonna talk about the body swap theory because that was all fan made stuff
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
creator
no,
didn't
no,
intend.
no.
I'm
That
not even
was
gonna bring
all
that up, nor do
like
I even believe it, honestly.
it was an
But like,
interesting theory, but like it was more of a like I treated it more of a joke than anything. But yeah,
I feel like I was the perfect amount of hype for this. It's not.
Can I make my
I
argument
don't think
now?
I don't think this was a good. I'm not gonna say a good chapter. I don't think this was a good trial
there was
because we're
no
also forgetting
agreement.
We're also forgetting the fact that as soon as they came back from break, they were literally like, "All right, everything the 4 or 5 episodes that we did so far, all that we got to scrap all that. We're starting over for this case over from scratch,"
Yeah,
which just
no,
seems like a giant waste of time.
yeah,
Excuse me. Are you guys still recording? I'm not gonna disturb you guys from
no,
recording
you're
something.
Yes.
fine. You're fine.
Next up is my
All right.
turn for discussion. I wanted to say first,
You
hi Mel, how's it
wait.
going? I love seeing one of my good pals over here, but I am gonna go on a little rant here. I am diametrically opposed here.
Okay. So before you Speaking about rants, you want to go on Alex's stream right now. He's talking about the
No, we're not
Chinese.
doing
We'll do
that.
that.
We're not
Okay,
doing
what's
that.
what's happening on
I
Alex's
No, we're
stream?
not
What's
doing that.
happening
We're
on
not
Alex's
doing
stream?
that.
Wait, hold on.
We're not doing that,
What's
people.
he
We're
doing?
losing the plot
Oh my
here.
god!
We're
Wait, he
losing.
saved this?
And then he
Wait,
blames me. I don't know what the battle.
wait, is this the one where I
It's like,
stalled
goddamn,
everyone
that has
out?
shit in it. What doesn't matter?
No,
Because
this is the Go-Go
check
one.
out his fucking,
This is the
thing.
Go-Go one. All
And
right.
then I see a
Alright,
Charizard.
I gotta
and I'm
do
like,
this.
alright,
Watch, join my
Charizard-
stream,
the
join my
Charizard
stream.
needs to fucking go.
I gotta dip out.
We're losing
Oh, y'all
the
need to
plot
change
here.
on this. I gotta go.
Charizard's
Oh,
over.
okay.
We're losing the plot here.
Yeah, really
Okay,
sorry.
fine.
Okay,
Doesn't matter.
I need you to pause it. I
Alright.
am personally disagreeing with you. I think the trial was overall good. I think it was a bit lost. The first part, purely, I believe it was done to support the heel turn of David. Like, I believe the first part was purely done so you can set up David as the culprit, go for the heel turn, and then immediately switch gears up when you're done with that aspect. Because you see that in the second part, David was much less prevalent. He only had like 1 or 2 moments. He lost a lot of relevance in the second part of the trial. Really, when it comes to the whole trust argument, I believe that Teriko's arc, it begins with her being more trusting in Chapter 1 and Prologue. She can be a bit wary, but she overall has that kind of trust within her. It's Chapter 2, after having been betrayed by Xander and by both Xander and Min, that she takes this position of, oh, I can't trust absolutely anyone. I think the story is trying to tell us balance needs to be struck. Like, everything needs a balance. Like past and future, tradition and modernism, everything needs a balance. Especially in this scenario. Basically, it's the idea that Tiriko has to trust, but not put blind trust in others. It's
I'm
about
sorry to interrupt you. That's
compromise.
literally what she just did. That's literally what she just did this chapter.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
All right,
So,
I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
oh, no worries. We're here to have a civil discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. But basically, what I'm saying is, Tiriko had to go to both extremes for her character to reach this point. I believe that next chapter, Tiriko will make certain compromises with trusting other people. She may be a bit more permissive with Eden or Rose, because she did show that Rose was useful to her this trial, so she could be a lot more permissive and, okay, I accept you more because of the things you've done. But basically, what goes down here is the fact that Tiriko has to strike that balance, and she'll start trying to look for it in Chapter 3. When it comes to the culprit, I fully agree that if I personally would have preferred it to have been someone else, I don't know, Levi, someone else.
Yeah.
Because I believe that Ace could have had a great arc in the making, because he could have either gone through a corruption arc where he continuously gets worse until it reaches a breaking point, but I guess we already reached the breaking point with, well, murder, or a point where he realizes that he's not going anywhere with that kind of attitude and decides to better himself as a person. Either way, you can make of those two arguments, of those two potential routes for development, what you would. But effectively, with Eden, she is the juxtaposition to Teruko. Eden is someone who will trust everyone without a doubt, and will surely be hurt because of it. But either way, she chooses to hold on to it just as he chooses to hold on to her positivity. Basically, with Eden, the reason she has to survive, or at least make it further in the game, is because she shows to Teruko that trust can be placed in other people. The same way that the relationship between Charles and Whit has been built. Basically, you see that some of the healthiest relationships
when Charles
come from
kills him in
trust.
Chapter 4, I'm gonna cry.
Okay, but we'll leave that for later. But basically, you can see how
It's
certain
15 years,
relationships
yeah.
built upon genuine trust can lead to the bettering of other people. Like, Whit has become a bit more sensible. Meanwhile, Charles has become a more emotionally intelligent person thanks to being able to rely on Whit instead of being, oh, I'm not going to trust any of you. Charles is not only a reflection of Teriko and who she has to become, but also Eden represents the idea of absolute trust. So really, I believe that having killed her off in a way that, in any way that wasn't like, oh, it was an accident, genuinely would have ruined her character, because it means that everything Teruko believed in was right, and that Eden had no sort of argument, because at the end she was just a murderer. Either way, that's why I believe the trial was overall good, a bit messy at parts and hard to follow. They'd go on long tangents. The whole Levy thing wasn't really relevant. It's probably just foreshadowing for later. Veronica just fucking around is kind of annoying, but who cares?
That's just expected.
But definitely, I believe it was overall good, somewhat messy, a good trial at the end of the day. Like, I do think that Ace could have been a character you could potentially do a lot more with. Same goes for, well, not RA. She had her moments.
Yeah.
It's to demonstrate the fleeting nature of human life and the
Yeah,
fact that even
some
people who are
and with
getting
her,
better can be stopped in the middle of their tracks. Like Eden, I'm fine leaving her as is.
Yeah.
Ace is the one I would have preferred living. If I had to choose a culprit, I'd rather it be who was very much unraveling during this trial,
Yeah.
or Levy, who very much does not have any allegiance to any other people, and could very clearly kill her without anything mattering to him. Really, he could just keep the secret. He could, but really, if I had to make arguments against it, I'd say who is still convinced that everyone can get along, so she still isn't absorbing the full weight of the situation, and and with Levy, I just really think it's the fact that he cares so little that genuinely even murder wouldn't be enough for him. So yeah, that's my argument. I hope I hope I was concise with everything I wanted to say.
I find it
uh,
ironic of Rick saying that. Meanwhile, I found this comment to all the people writing about Ace's potential. Oh, think about Min's almost potential before she died. That is,
I'm going to stop you right there because I was reading that comment while Virik was talking. You can say that about how many Danganronpa characters? We're not even talking about Fangin because the list will last forever. How many Danganronpa characters in the mainline series had quote unquote potential? If we're
Let's
talking about
start.
if we're
Ayako,
Hiyako,
talking about like
Leon,
Ishimaru,
Chihiro,
Leon.
Ishimaru, Mondo, not Hifumi. Sorry,
Yeah,
you were
not
the joke
Hifumi.
character. Genuinely,
Yeah.
I can't think of an else for you.
Ishimaru.
Celeste,
Celeste.
Sakura. Well, wait, no, I think Sakura perfectly fulfilled her
Yeah,
role.
no,
She's a
Sakura
character
was
you know
fine.
what
I
I'm
Sakura
saying.
wouldn't
was
take
fine.
out.
Some people like RA is there like I always say. There's a reason why a lot of filler characters die first. They're literally created from the ground up to die first. It is
Certain
what it
characters,
is.
I'd say, like I'd agree with that aspect for certain characters, but I believe that other characters, for the narrative, have to die at certain points because genuinely there is a someone has to die first. That's the rule in a death game.
Yeah.
For narrative reasons, like Xander had to die first because it generates intrigue by like who told him to kill Teriko Tawaki, why did he have that heel turn, what happened to his eye. Like with Xander, his death not only serves as a betrayal to the audience and to set up the themes of the game, but also to set up a mystery further on. So Xander dying first, it's perfect. Min, I feel it's more of a filler death. Like, which one of you could potentially bring forth the best story? I'm sorry, Min, your character just doesn't have much. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, I don't think Min's character would lead to much things. Her character was basically over as soon as the trial ended because there wasn't much else to develop for her. Like maybe you could have her try find something aside from her role as an ultimate student, but there's not much that I could think of for her. So really, I'd say I think it's a case that depends. It's not that every character who dies early is a filler character. There absolutely are. Like Hifumi Amada being in the game is purely just so you can kill him off and make sex jokes.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Ishimaru is someone who very clearly was taken out before his potential could be realized in the middle of an arc. Like, really, it purely depends on the character.
Yeah, and like I wasn't even calling anybody filler character. I was just disagreeing with the point that of the comment. I said like you can say blah blah blah's potential for anyone because in that comment it made it seem like people were even though they were probably mostly talking about people saying Ace's potential. I don't know, it comes off to me they're saying like people were wrong for wanting it to be someone other days. Maybe I'm just interpreting it wrong.
No, I think the
But
comment is basically
if
saying
I
that,
had to
like,
comment on one of your points that you said earlier, could you not maybe not the exact same story? Could you not do a similar story of what you described with Terrico and Rose?
I think Rose could be, but Rose hasn't shown that trust in other people. Like, Rose, if you look at Rose, she hasn't generated bonds with other people.
Yeah.
Eden very clearly is trying to connect to everyone else. Rose is just off in her own world. Like, if Rose
feel like-
were attempting to generate bonds with other people, to connect and be trusting from a beginning, like, maybe.
And I feel
Maybe
like
I
Rose
could
has
see how the
got
argument
like
is made.
a little worse just because like she's currently like having Fritz with her photographic memory or whatever. and shit like that. I mean, like it's gone to the point she's kind of traumatized by and like either Terraco's or Xander's like death just based
By
on like how
both, no, all
brutal it
images.
was.
Based on what she said previously, it's the trauma base. She is genuinely traumatized because she cannot forget the image of Teriko, Xander, and Min's deaths.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, boys, but is anyone else kind of getting the feeling Rose might die next chapter?
I mean,
I'm starting
Maybe.
to feel it. I'm starting to feel it.
I see where you're coming from. Like, really, the idea that she'll reach a point where she genuinely cannot continue, and like, where do you think she's dying next chapter so that I can make my arguments?
Yeah, I think next chapter. Like I would
No,
say
but I mean, as a victim or as a culprit?
definitely a victim. Like if I had
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make a prediction right now, like I feel very strongly about Rose and Veronica dying. Like I think it would be too obvious to make her a killer, but she screams like the type of character that won't make it past chapter 3. I don't know.
I
I
can
feel
see
like
that.
I also kind of have as much as I love Wit, I have a feeling they would kill him off before they would kill Charles off.
Yeah.
But I think Wit seems like
Yeah.
such a chapter 4 death, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wit very clearly feels like the issue with Wit is the same issue I saw with Ibuki, a character who can't develop because Wit really doesn't. Wit is already a person who's made. He's the one who helps others develop. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a character who does not need to develop on his own. All he needs to do is help other people develop because he
i.e.
doesn't have room
Charles.
to grow. Like, we know about the death of his mother, we know that it affected him, but it clearly hasn't generated any sort of everlasting trauma in him. We
Yeah.
know that we know that he's bisexual, but it hasn't generated like some kind of problem. Like very clearly,
Hell, it doesn't even
Eden
like
has
start
some.
her to shit. I mean, technically, yeah, it does. It's fucking Danganronpa, but like, it hasn't really been made like aware or like known if anything
It's
is like
not it's
hinted
not
in the fucking thing.
it's not shoved in your face.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
you can clearly look at him and tell, oh, that's a bisexual
Well,
man.
yeah, obviously that, but like you can't really see like through interactions with anyone else if like he's getting any vibes with anyone. Like, okay, maybe you could say I mean, fuck, he's a fucking love matcher. He'd see it through other people before, or he'd see himself with someone. I'm sorry, I'm starting too much. But like we haven't really seen that. Like, okay, you could make the argument of that with Charles, I guess, but like Charles is too fucking dimwit. Or not dimwit. It's not the word. He's too cocky and stubborn, like to like worry about that kind of stuff right now, especially in a fucking killing game. So like, I don't personally would think that. So
Yeah, if they both somehow made it out alive, they're having very hot gay sex.
yeah. Yeah. If they both survive, that's 100% happening. But like, as of
Yeah,
right
either
now,
way,
I don't
I
think
don't
that's
see Wit.
happening.
I don't see Wit surviving because of Charles's development.
Yeah.
Charles is going
Yep,
to get to a point of
yep.
reliance on Wit where he'll eventually have to either he kills him, like something's going to happen between them. But either way, I don't believe Wit is surviving because Charles is
So,
already.
so
I believe Charles is surviving because he fills like an opposite role to Teriko as a deuteragonist. I believe, and because Wit has to die for someone else's development. Unless we are just completely wrong and Wit just survives because. And in
and
that case, I'll be like, you know
trust
what?
me, that will not be a problem with me.
If a character I like survives, then who cares?
There's one more comment I'd like to make to your statement. Would you agree with me that Terraco gave Enid too much trust?
Yeah.
I believe it wasn't too much trust. I believe it was more of the idea between, like, it's not that I trust you, it's that I trust. No, no, I'm wording it wrong. It's not that I trust you. It's more that eventually I'll have to distrust you. So I'll start with Ace before going for you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. She kind of lie-eyed with that just because, like, it just ended up on Ace anyways.
That's
Because unless we get fucking bamboozled on next week's episode, which at this point I'm highly doubting it.
No, it's a trial close. We're done. We're done. They got the wrap up and everything. We're done. We're done. Like that's what I mean. Like, I understand you want to go through this arc of having her trust more and more, but I feel like what she did last episode was way too much trust, especially in chapter 2. If this was chapter 5, maybe.
Okay, but wait. Didn't earlier in one of the episodes, wasn't this a realization of Teruko realizing you can't trust people too much, but you also can't distrust people too much because of people like David or Ace?
She had that realization in the middle of the trial.
Yeah.
I would argue that it's not a case of not trusting and not distrusting. It was literally 50-50. We had no inkling whether to believe one was more guilty than the other. But all because Enos started crying, that's the only reason Terraco went to Ace. Even though, like I said, even if he was the killer at the end, that was the only reason she started harping on Ace. I would have much preferred it. I think it would have been just straight up better writing as well if she was neutral until something like they said, him choking out Ariel, something that only Ace could have done. Whatever, something only that Ace could have done, and that's when we're like, all right, I'm gonna start harping on you now.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly agree with that, because I honestly don't think just because he's a fucking jockey that it means that he could have done that by eating coconuts.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Eden definitely could have done the fucking slingshot too. Just because as Levi gave Ace a fucking weight band that doesn't mean that there wasn't.
Ace stole the stretch band. Ace stole the stretch band.
Oh, Ace stole the stretch band. But weren't they just already in the fucking gym to begin with?
Yeah,
there was only one stretch band, and he stole it to spite Levi.
There was only one. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I saw too when they were going over. But if we want to have the correct semantics, he did steal it because Levi had it in his hand, and Ace snatched it out of him.
Ace literally went, "Fuck you, shit lips," and took it.
Yeah. Okay. But still, there's multiple things that makes it so that it's. I'm not saying necessarily that it couldn't have been Ace, but it's stuff. There are plenty of stuff that would have made it so that Eden wasn't too. I'm gonna say right now, this trial would have been perfect for a split potential if this was actually a game. Have it have been either or.
Two routes.
2 routes, yeah.
Don't really agree with that.
Okay, I understand, there's definitely a few issues with that, but, there are, several things that you could, take into account that, okay, are we sure that it is? Because there's a few things that are drawing it back. Most notably, the fact that his strength is being over exaggerated because he has a fucking eating disorder. He is not getting the nutrients to have that fucking muscles. Sure, okay.
I think you're a bit okay. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I think you're a bit unknowledgeable on eating disorders. Sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, man. An eating disorder, of course, in multiple cases will limit a person's strength, but we see that Ace isn't bony or stuff like that. He's just scrawny, at the very least. And even then, he still has the body of an athlete. It is very much stated in the story that he still has the body of an athlete.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So I completely disagree with your point there. but I get why you'd make it.
Yeah, but like you at least you at least understand that there are occasions where like okay, yeah, Ace could have done this, but like so could have Eden in this scenario. True.
I have a very similar thought because, like I said, the thing that really pinned Ace was him choking out Ra with something. Like I said, if this was like Levi that died or someone strong, like I said, even David, I would buy. You're telling me that Enid couldn't have choked out Ra out of all people?
Like yeah, like she's just short. Women are short, bro. that's literally like the argument. But
Women are short. You've clearly never seen the women I jack
literally,
off to.
I feel like the only argument that you could have made that it couldn't be an Eden is why the fuck would Eden make that fucking claim that someone was stalking her. I think that.
But
That's
I mean,
like
she
the
quite
only
literally
thing I can
was
think
being
of.
stalked.
Yeah, but Teruku earned it, but like that wasn't even like part of the fucking trial, or I don't like I don't know. It's been too long since that fucking scene happened,
Yep,
so like I
that's
have
what
no idea.
happened. That's what happened. We had to wait 2 years. I'm not saying I got my I had high expectations. It just happened.
Yeah,
It just
Look, man,
happened.
like I didn't have like
maybe we
fucking
should
high
just leave it at that and
expectations.
make out. How about it?
Like I didn't have fucking high expectations because it's fucking Despair time. I'm like they don't have scrum debates nor fully voice acted trials. I don't expect that much from them. Like obviously I expect a little bit because like I was invested in this trial, but like I
I was just
wasn't
an asshole for the sake of it.
Yeah. I'm looking at this comment. I'm very concerned about people's portrayal on Eden as this manipulative scumbag who's playing the victim card. Like Eden is a genuine person who's with actual morals and that come up time and time again. She's not secretly an evil schemer. She's not a whiner playing victim. She's somebody who's been morally fragile this entire trial, who had somebody she cared about taken away from her. And then the finger is pointed at her as the killer. She was absolutely in the right to break down and beg for help. And people didn't just suddenly believe her just because she was crying. People still distrusted her. Teruku was just like, I'm going to focus on Ace first. People still did not trust Eden until Ace kept making himself look worse and worse. Eden isn't evil.
You know what I have to say about that? We're like, Eden, this pussy. Hell yeah, brother.
I have to bring up fucking Mikon Sumiki.
Is that how bad the trial was? That you bring up Mikon Sumiki?
No. I'm saying like, dude, literally everyone would fucking like break down and cry if they're naturally fucking fragile like that, including people like Mikon.
And no one was. Well, my issue. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone who watches Despair Time.
Yeah.
My issue was that not even that she was crying. Lord knows, if I was in that situation, I would probably cry too.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I was in Ace's situation, I would have been.
I'm just kind of real like that. So okay, I guess so.
Like
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. I'm kidding.
I didn't even hear what you said. If I'm being completely honest with you.
My thing is simply just a matter of like it felt like so conveniently placed there as if like she got out of there. Like she
Exactly. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I know that Eden was kind of like the wimpy kind already. I mean, she is like the petite girl, so like, sure, yeah, you could make that claim, but like, I don't know, like, it was just how it's executed. Like, if they had gone with Eden, I wouldn't have like had issues with her just crying and like going at it and like not thinking that she's fucking manipulative about it. Like obviously, if this is the case, I'm not gonna believe she's just manipulated. But like, I don't think this is just that's just written well. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I don't think this was written. I also have to agree. I do not think this was written well. But that's just me.
Expecting Danganronpa fans to be illiterate about women is a lost cause. Why are women?
It's either Teruko or Eden. I don't think we should even read that comment.
Bro, okay, yeah. My main concern isn't really.
You know what? I'm not reading this shit anymore. I'm going to bed.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I
not
guess-
really going to bed. A friend invited me to play Fall Guys. Sorry, guys.